Hello and Tashdele everyone. Welcome to part 4 of learning the Tibetan alphabet from scratch. Today we are going to learn the two most important punctuation marks, Tsek and Shey. And this is going to be really great because now we can really start doing stuff. Tsek is this little dot, sometimes written as a triangle, sometimes written as a dot, and this goes between syllables. Tibetan is like a lot of languages in that actually it doesn't put spaces between words, but it puts spaces between syllables. And this can be a little bit tricky, but I promise it's not too hard. In short, every time we have a series of syllables, they'll be broken up by tsek. For example, the word ama. Ama is 2 syllables. So we have a and then a tsek, and then we have ma and then a tsek. So we know that it's 2 syllables. It's not one like it's ma. Pretty simple, right? And ama means mother. So let's try another one. And this time you're going to try to read it yourself. So this, we know there's 2 syllables. This first one is a, like before, and the second one is pa, apa. Apa means father. So you can see how the tsek separates between syllables. This next one is a shey, shey. And it's just a long line. The shey has 2 main purposes. It can act like a comma or it can act like a period, but you can just think of it as acting like the end of a thought. And depending on context, you can tell whether it's a comma or whether it's a period. Sometimes we have single shey and sometimes we have double shey. Double shey, if it's in prose, is always a period. If it's in poetry, that's its own thing. We're not worrying about that right now. It just signifies the end of a verse. But in prose, that's definitely a period. A single shey is a bit more flexible. So it can be a comma or a period. These are the 2 most common punctuation marks used in Tibetan, and they're the ones you're going to see on a daily basis, and really for a very long time, the only ones you need to worry about. So let's practice them, shall we? How many syllables are in this word? Well, we have 1 and then a tsek, and then we have another and then a tsek. So there's 2 syllables. Can you try to read it on your own? Here we have ka, shabju, so that's ku, and sha, shabju, shu. We know this is 2 syllables, so it must be kushu. Kushu means apple, like the fruit. Now, obviously, this isn't a complete sentence. It's just apple. But I'm going to add another word on the end right now. Since we have this at the end of the line, we don't need another tsek. We know this is the end, so it's only 1 syllable. What's that last one? It's sa, sa. And sa means eat. It's usually a command form when it's in this way. So kushu sa. This is a sentence. What does it mean? Eat the apple. So that's a full sentence, and you can read it just using this punctuation. Since we haven't done much grammar, the shey won't be too useful to us right now. But that's why we've seen it at the end of every row, because if you remember, when we write the alphabet in rows, and I'll just write the first 2 rows for you really quickly as an example, it's always ended with that line, that shey. I'm not writing this in my best handwriting. But it's good to get used to what real handwriting looks like. Since the end of a line signifies the end of an idea, we have ka, 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 nga, and a shey. Cha, 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 nya, and a shey. Each of the syllables is separated by a tsek. The lines are separated by a shey. Now I'm sure you might be wondering, why does the nga have both a tsek and a shey, while the nya doesn't? I'll tell you, the nga is the only one that gets a tsek and a shey. It's the only one. And the reason is because if we put the nga and the shey right next to each other, I want you to see what happens. If you're writing really quickly, that might look like a ba or even like a ga. So either way, it's really confusing. Essentially, this is just like kerning in English, the way that we change fonts slightly depending on the letters. So you don't need to worry about that too much, but all you need to know is the only time we end with both a tsek and a shey is if it ends in a nga. There are other rules. They don't really matter to you right now. So let's just practice some syllables so you can get some reading in. What do you think this word is? First, how many syllables? Okay, hopefully you've seen it's 2 syllables. So we've got pa, ma. Now we already know apa means father and ama means mother. Can you make a guess what pama means? It means parents. Once again, we have 2 syllables, and can you read it? Ni, ma, nima. Nima means son and is a very popular Tibetan name. How about this? How many syllables? 3. Why don't you give it a try? Tsaluma. Tsa, la shabshu lu, ma, tsaluma. Tsaluma means orange, like the fruit. How about this? Tsagikutsi, tsagikutsi, tsitsi. Tsitsi means mouse. I think that's onomatopoetic. I think it's because mice make a little tsitsi noise, but maybe I'm wrong. Shagikushi, magikumi, shimi. Shimi means cat. So one of my favorite words, of course. Now you know the 2 major punctuation points that are used in Tibetan. Why don't you give it a try? Try to write out some words with what you have so far. We haven't done end letters yet, and we haven't done combinations, so you can't do too much, but try to sound out some things. Maybe leave a comment where you try to sound out a name or a word. We're not too worried about the spelling right now. It's really just getting comfortable with it. And now that you know this, we can really start having some fun with the alphabet, learning words, learning sentences. And from the next class, we're going to start learning end letters, which really lets us make new sounds in all different shapes. So I hope to see you there. Once again, if you are enjoying these videos, please leave a like, consider subscribing or sharing with your friends. If you're really enjoying these videos, please check out my Patreon, where I'm going to be blogging my upcoming trip through Kham, and have a whole bunch of both free and subscription videos. And subscriptions on the Patreon, as well as leaving me a tip through coffee, allows me to keep making these videos for you and supports me in doing Tibetan language education and working in the communities where I work. So I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a great time learning. And of course, if you have any questions, leave them below so I can answer them in the next video. Thank you so much. Tuchche.